Join us each Saturday for the Justice is Here podcast, an innovative, revolutionary podcast that speaks to justice for all party members across America. We'll speak to leadership, we'll speak to activists, and most of all, we want to hear your opinion. So if you're tired of the two-party system and how it doesn't work for you, tune into this podcast to learn how we can take back the justice that we deserve. Thank you. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 24th episode of the Justice is Here podcast. I'm so excited for this show. We've got a ton of announcements to get to before we start the show, so let's get to them. First of all, of course, we invite you all to visit our website at justiceforall.us. Justiceforall.us. One more time, justiceforall.us. Hit that subscribe button. We are at 380. We are still shooting for 1,000. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell the lady with too many cats, subscribe to the channel. That's the only way that the Justice for Here podcast can grow and the message can get out. Hit that subscribe button. Join us next week. It's finally here. The Justice for All fundraiser is next week. We will start the show at 6 o'clock. We have a lot in store for you all. Just a quick mention on this. Next week, we'll work it a little bit different. Of course, we will be starting at 6 o'clock, not 7, but we will have singers, we'll have comedians, we'll have Jay, we'll have me. I still have not made up my mind as to talent that I'm going to do, but I will come up with something. But join us next week. Pledges will be taken. We'll put the website up where you can put in that donation. We desperately need your support. Any amount of donation is appreciated. You can donate now, of course, but next week will be our push to try to raise $25,000 to get us a good start. There are 290 days until the JFA convention, which of course is June 10th, 11th, and 12th of 2026 in the lovely city of Columbus, Ohio. More information about that is this, and I'll come back to that here in just a moment. Help us to get 75 likes and 25 shares. Remember to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Like, subscribe, share, and comment. And back to this one, the JFA website will officially launch next week. So we will start advertising both the main site and the convention website. I think you'll be very, very pleased with the work that has been happening on that website. It looks really great, but we're not quite there yet. We're really close. So we'll be announcing that next week. Jay, how are you doing?
Doing great. I'd like to also add, this is not this information is not on the website just yet, but if you want to donate to the Justice for All National Committee, I guess I can put it in the chat too. But yeah, we do have a PO box. You can bill it. I will get it and get it to the banking account. I'm gonna include it in the chat that I just saw. But if you're an analog girl in the digital world and need to send it through the mail and don't want to do a digital donation, I'm putting the PO box in the chat right now.
That's exactly right. So we need any level of support is appreciated. We would appreciate all types of support, whether your donation is big or small. Remember, the limit is $5,000. So you can donate anywhere up to $5,000. $1, $5, $10, $20, $25, $30, $35, $40. And I believe that address is Post Office Box. I literally just had it.
53157.
Chicago, Illinois. Yep. So I don't see it in the chat though.
Oh, I put it in the
You must
studio
have put
chat. Is
it
that
in.
different? Oh, it's a private chat.
Yes, it
Sorry.
is.
All right. So
Yes, you got to put it on the public chat.
where it says join the chat.
I'll do it.
All right.
Yeah, I'll do it. Let's see.
You can send it to me
Yeah,
or
because you
care
just put it
of
in.
the
I'm like,
Justice for
oh,
All National Committee. All right.
I forgot all about our address. Thank you for reminding me of that. Let's see. Yeah, we got you. And of course, we got to wait for it to load up. Well, it seems like we. Okay, there we go. Oh, no, I can't. So it's Post Office Box 53157, Chicago, Illinois 60653. That is Post Office Box 53157, Chicago, Illinois 60653. And I'm still trying to cut and paste, and I realize I can't do it on the website. So, y'all, give me about 2 seconds here, and we'll get this show started because I do want to put that address in the comment section so you can remember to drop your donation in the mail. Oh, and keep in mind this, the donations are not tax deductible. Do not donate think you're going to get a tax break. You will not. So we always have to tell people that to
Right. I
make
forgot
sure.
the category, but what the category that we are is not it. It's not that 501 where you get the
C3.
state.
Yep.
Yeah, C3. Yeah.
Yes. We are not that. So we are not that. You will not get a tax break. Let's see. I'm almost there, guys. I apologize. I should have thought about this. And while I'm doing oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Finally found it. Let me go here.
Good news, we are registered with the Federal Election Commission, so we are official, and you can rest assured donations you make will be recorded and it's all official, and it's not like we're going to take the money and go surfing or whatever. So it's going to be put to good use, and everything will be, what do you call it? It'll all be official in statements, etc. So nothing
Okay,
donated
so
will be wasted.
we don't know what happened to that, but let me do it again. We're gonna do this one more time. Just had it. So I'm not gonna promise this show is going to be short because I don't think it will be. But let's see. I am really trying to do this, guys, and this is just not cooperating with me today. There we go. Okay, there we go right there. That is the address. That is the address where you can drop your donation at. That's correct, right, Michael? Right, Michael. Jay. Why did I call you Michael? Oh,
Let me see. Oh yeah. JFA. Well, actually, Justice for All. Hold on. Let me get the exact. That would the post office box is
oh
correct,
yeah, the
but
name is it
you can
because I
say
can't
Justice
fit
for
the.
All. Right. Its official name is Justice for All National Committee, but and in that PO box. But if it would still get received Justice for All, but really Justice for All National Committee, PO
Yeah,
Box
that wouldn't fit.
531.
That wouldn't fit. So we've
Right.
got a
Yeah, it would
lot.
fit. So as long as you got the PO box, you good. I will receive it if you send it to that PO box.
So you're on like me. You're on several committees. Uh,
Yeah.
Nelson, thank you for checking in. As usual, I've done
Yeah.
it
Right
broke
now,
my heart.
hey,
So we're going to do something a little bit different. Jay has been on this show several times, and Jay will be back next week. Jay is going to be here next week for the fundraiser. Not to just talk to you all about fundraising and why it's important to give, but Jay's going to be sharing a talent with us. Jay, tell us the talent you will be sharing next week.
I am taking a page out of Sinbad's book, and I got some clean humor that I'm gonna be sharing, some jokes that you could probably tell in church before the morning announcements. That's how clean they are. Hopefully they'll be funny too, but at least you know they'll be clean. All right, and I can't sing, and yeah, freestyling. I couldn't guarantee cleanliness, so I'm gonna stick to humor. Some
And we are so looking forward to that. And thank you for donating your time and your talent. We greatly appreciate it. But here comes the first question. So, um, we had a meeting. This is actually my second time seeing Jay today. We just came out of a national committee meeting today. We discussed, of course, a lot of things. And one of the things that always kind of gets my mind is when there's a presidential election, everybody's all excited. It's always so exciting, ballot access and petition gathering, and everybody's ready gun ho. But boy, those off years, it's very hard to get people activated. They don't seem to have that same intensity. Why do you think that is?
I think because during those every 4 year elections, whoever is running, if you haven't seen what they've been doing the previous 3 years, it looks like people just pop up and run for office. So basically, what Justice for All is trying to do is build up track records across states and nationally with candidates. So when we do show up in 2028, it's not like we coming out of nowhere. Like people have heard of the other alternative independent parties. They've heard of the Green Party. They've heard of Libertarian Party. But there's a bunch of parties I couldn't name. But what they haven't heard of is different candidates who've done different things in office from the Justice for All party. So we're trying to build that up. So when we come in 2028, it's not just, hey, y'all are trying to throw off the election. Y'all are trying to give it back to whoever. We're actually trying to get someone elected with morals and that, in line with our platform, that a principled Justice for All candidate. So the process we're in now is building the party up and getting candidates and delegates and all. It's a slow process, like our chair Paris mentioned to us. It's a slow process, but we are making progress in the process. But I think part of the reason is people don't pay attention until the presidential elections, or maybe the midterms and the presidential elections. But the whole 4 year, and you look at it, it's not a 4 year process. It's a every year process that if you really want to be engaged in it, But a lot of people really pay attention every 4 years.
Exactly. And I think that's the thing that, we have to be aware of, in our planning. And I don't know how I can say this except for to just say it. I think the fallback is the media's fault. Because I believe that all elections are local. Like I believe that because really we don't really vote for the president of the United States. That's the electoral college. So my vote for president, it means something, right? But really, my vote for city council person is more impactful than president. But to get people to come out for city council elections, I think in Indianapolis we had less than 100,000 people come out. And our city has nearly 1 million people. And we had less than 10% show up. And I think it's the media that kind of plays into that because they hype up the presidential election so much. Who's running? Who's the spoiler? Da da da. But somehow they forget. And most people, they're not like us, like we're paying attention, right? We know who our city council is. We know who our state reps are. We know who our governor is. We know who our mayor is. We know. But most people don't know because They're trying to pay their bills, trying to put food on the table, trying to put gas in their car. They're trying to do all these other things so they don't have the time to pay attention. And I think that's an intentional thing. I'm not sure if I'm phrasing it right, but that's really what I think it is.
I think yeah, and they pretty much a lot of the media sets themselves up so people can tune in and they tell me who I should support, who should I agree with, who should I disagree with, who should I vote for and support, and they kind of set themselves up to be that way. And if they're not saying anything, then there's nothing to be heard because you're gonna get it all from here, channel this, channel that, channel whatever. So if we don't say it, it's nothing to hear. And they
Yeah, and
don't
it's
expect people to go find information on their own or look into things on their own or who to vote for, who voted for this, who supported this, who. So if the media said, for example, in Chicago, our mayor hasn't done anything, blah, 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 stop crime. But then if you only wait for the Tribune or the newspapers to tell you what he's done, and if they saying he hasn't done anything, then yeah, he ain't done anything. But if you go to his website and maybe look at what policy has been passed, or if you go to a city council meeting and sit in on that, then you're paying attention to what's happening with the budget, city budget, and the educational, the Board of Education, etc. But a lot of times people only get the information on what they know about the mayor or the city council or the police chief through newspapers. And if it's not reported there, a lot of people ain't going to police council meetings or city council meetings or the mayor's website or the governor's website. What is the governor doing? So I think a lot of people depend on the media, and a lot of the media expects the people to depend on them.
That's a good point. I never thought of it like that. What city do you live in?
Chicago.
Okay, so Brandon Johnson is your mayor.
Right.
Okay,
He's
got
the
it.
mayor of this crime-ridden city where teens are running wild and dragging people out of cars and taking over buildings, holding hostages. You may have heard the term teen takeover. Like,
I don't want to go on a rant because I'm really trying to not do that as much and let the person who I'm interviewing speak. But Trump is out of his. Why is he targeting? Nobody is saying anything about him targeting DC and Chicago. They're all black mayors. Los Angeles,
yeah.
Chicago, Washington DC, and another 2 cities. I'm like, wait a minute, they're all black. Wonder why?
And they're all cities where crime is going down. There's been a decrease in crime in most of these cities too. Chicago alone, last 3 years, crimes have been going down. Doesn't mean there are no crimes. So, but what happens is people get shot over the weekend. That's the first thing you're gonna see on the news. And another 12 people got shot over the weekend. But that doesn't mean crime is going up and people are running wild and there's death wish shot in the street every day. Or the Warriors is running around and it's, gang violence on every corner. It's not like that, but it does happen. But we haven't managed to eradicate crime from Chicago yet. But it has been.
Crime is in Indianapolis. But were you one of the people that called Trump and told him to send the National Guard in? Because he's saying that people of Chicago called him. Like, what they do, call his cell number, or
I haven't been able to get through to him. I've tried a few times.
I know, right?
I'm still on seeing the busy signals. So he's Mr. Tough on Crime. Be tough on crime somewhere where crime is going up. How you tough on crime when you pardon 1,500 people the first week in office? Who had committed a crime in D.C. But whatever.
But you know why he did that? Come on. There was one black person at that whole bar, and that guy is probably still in jail. He's probably still in prison, probably didn't get pardoned. He's probably still sitting there. Come on. I'm trying, yeah. I'm really trying today. I'm trying so hard not to go off because I'm like, nobody can see it. Why am I the only person seeing this? But I'm glad somebody else has picked up. Oh, these are black mayors he's going after. Crime is going down. But this is a conservative talking point, right? This is what And Democrats do it too because they haven't called Trump out on this. They haven't said, hey, why are you sending the National Guard to D.C.? I haven't heard Hakeem Jeffries talk about it. I haven't heard Jim Clyburn. I haven't heard the Congressional Black Caucus. I have Bernie Sanders, AOC. Nobody has said, hey, crime is down in D.C. Why are you wasting um, time sending the National Guard there?
I gotta admit, a lot of the people you just named, I haven't heard from them either. But in my admission is I had kind of stopped listening for some of those people anyway. So if they had said something, I might not have heard it until it was reported in the news or something.
Well,
like
you
that.
haven't missed anything because they haven't said anything. You have not missed anything. I do want to talk about because I always believe in going backwards to go forward. Um, like I said, the JFA National Committee has been meeting, and I always want to know from other people, and I think I've asked you this question before, because you're on several committees. You're like the national treasurer. You're on the executive committee,
And the
um,
platform.
and the platform committee.
That was
Which
it, really. That was financial budget committee, platform, and the executive committee, and that was
committee?
pretty much all I can handle. Nah,
Yeah, tell me about it.
and we are working towards a political educational committee. It's not an official committee yet. So right now we're more of an educational advisory council. But we're working towards putting together a reading group with material that informs and promotes the platform of the JFA. So we're working towards that, but it's nothing official yet.
And that's the message I want to get out to everybody. And that's why I wanted to shape the podcast in the way that I am, because there's work to be done, right? The more volunteers we get, the less Jay and I have to do.
Hey, that's a good. I hadn't thought of it that way. Yeah.
Um, it's not like we're not going to just not do anything. That's not, because that's just not our flow. But multiple hands makes less work. It makes less work. So if you're thinking about, hey, I want to get involved, I'll put Pierce's email address because he gave me permission to do that. I'll do that a little bit later. But consider it because this is one of those situations, looking at the way our government is operating. This is an all hands on deck situation that we have. You have, especially in Indiana, because Indiana is such a special state. I don't know if you've heard about any of our town hall meetings. Our lieutenant governor has had people arrested at his town hall meetings. He just had one a couple of weeks ago, or a couple of days ago in Newburgh, Indiana, and people got arrested. And anyone that was in opposition to what he's saying, which basically it's just whatever Trump does nationally, they try to do in Indiana. They were accused of being Soros supporters and being paid. And someone raised the point of, well, we're citizens of Indiana. So you're our lieutenant governor. It's your job to listen to us. And that person was sent out.
Did he get arrested or just removed?
Removed, but very forcefully. One person got tackled. We've had a lot of those in Indiana where people have got, and it's not, I hate to say this, but it's not like black people are showing up at these because they're holding them. If you know anything about Indiana, black people tend to live in like 5 cities in Indiana: Fort Wayne, Gary, Evansville, maybe Bloomington, and Indianapolis. Those are the 5 cities we tend to live in. They're holding these town halls in cities like Newburgh, Newcastle, Greenfield, Carmel. They're holding them in areas where a white population lives mostly, and they're getting arrested. These are Republicans showing up and saying, no, what you're trying to do is crazy.
Hmm.
This isn't like me showing up and saying,
Then you
oh,
need more disgruntled Republicans, I guess. You know,
We need more disgruntled people
yeah,
because our system, you have the Democratic Party that does nothing, sits back, watches it, and then what happened? That's probably because you didn't exercise the power that you had. And then you had the Republican Party that will just do anything at any time. We need more disgruntled people that are just upset with the government and how it operates because I've never seen a time where Democrats don't trust their Democratic leadership and Republicans don't trust their Republican leadership. And I want to take advantage of it because I'm like, oh, okay, here's a better way.
yes, and that also on the state side, that's what we're trying to, like, when we reach out to try to get state meetings or have a Zoom and find out who's interested statewide. It's a slow process, but that's what we're looking for. People who don't feel served or don't feel they getting what they need from whatever party they've been, you know, dealing with recently. So if you anybody that's interested in progressive independent parties, that's pretty much what we are promoting locally and nationally, naturally. But that's the process we on now, trying to get it statewide. Like you said, city council, city this, uh, county, state, whatever. But just like in Indiana, we try to. That's what we're working on in Illinois. Getting the list of supporters. Well, supporters from the campaign from last year, but also that's that's where we're at right now, trying to get state formation. That's what we. Matter of fact, yeah, Justice for All Party National Committee. In case it hasn't been mentioned already, you might have mentioned it last week. We now have a state formation committee working
I
towards that
did
end.
not. Yes, please talk
Okay.
about that.
Right. So we do have a new ad hoc committee under the national committee, which is aimed towards starting state parties and forming state parties, advising state parties, and working towards supporting candidates in the state. So we have a committee dedicated towards that. People are joining the committee. We're in the process of getting that committee together, and they're going to be getting meetings, and that is something that has been addressed by the national committee. So we are very happy to have that committee and as an ad hoc committee, and they're looking forward to getting busy. It's one thing I can't get involved with because of the committees I'm already involved with, but hey, the more the merrier. So, and also on the website, we don't have yet where you can volunteer on our justiceforall.us, but that's going to be something that we're going to that'll also be helpful towards getting people involved in different committees and building that up. Because I know statewide, there's going to be a lot of people involved, interested in independent state party formation and also national independent party nationally as well. But
And
we want to build that up so we have a track record. So when 2028 comes, oh, you guys Justice for All, yeah, that's my dog catchers with Justice for All, you know. My educational school board councilman is with Justice for All party or whoever, you know.
yep, and
Those
take note of the address, everybody. Again, Paris, our national chair, did give me permission to put his email address. So if you want to, are interested in starting a party, learning more about the party, hit him up on um, by email, and he'll get back to you. Um, but there is his email, and thank you for talking about that because I literally forgot that. So what I want to do, because I know you serve on several committees, but I want you to talk about the platform committee and what their role is, what their duties are. If you all have met, what is it that you're trying to do?
Okay, I think it was either last week or the week before. We have met recently, and let me look at some. One of the things we're doing right now is the platform as it is on the website. A lot of the wording of it is still from the Dr. Cornel West's campaign. So a lot of the wording is about what our administration will do, et cetera. Right now we're rereading that and looking over it, and I think it's going to be shared with everybody on the platform committee as a Google Doc, so we can look at it that way. But we looking for redundancies or words that we would change to make it more of, instead of from a campaign, a presidential campaign, more of a party platform. So that's what we're working towards now. Looking through it, reading over it, I guess fine toothing it and finding redundancies, what redundancies are necessary versus what redundancies need to be taken out, and copy editing. So we're working on either expanding or whittling down the platform. So,
yep. And keep in mind this, keep in mind this, everybody, that platform will be presented at our convention. Um, our convention is coming up in 290 days. So that platform committee that Jay is talking about, that same platform will be presented at the National Committee for approval and/or editing and/or. So everything kind of works together, right? Um, we have to wait for them to present it to us to present it to you, but I did want you to at least talk about that. And you can still go to justiceforall.us, justiceforall.us, justiceforall.us to find that platform. It's right there, but it's good to know that people are working on it because it is a breathing document, and not just stoic and static, in terms of what it is that we're looking to do, right? It's not, um, this is it and it'll never change. It can change. It's moving, it's breathing, and that's what I want to say.
Right. If it's a lot of the principles in the platform is, I think, can draw a lot of people in. If you're attracted to what's in the platform, you'll be attracted to the party and volunteering for the party. And it's pretty much what got me involved. Even though when Dr. West was running last couple of years, I was interested in him, but the platform is what really got me to want to volunteer and push it. So and now I'm as a part of the national committee. It was mainly the platform that got me interested in the party, and we're hoping that we're gonna get it to the point where more people will get interested in the party and volunteering because of the platform, because you agree with the platform and want to serve what the platform aims towards.
Now, Nelson has a point. The National Guard is being sent to different states that Trump has chosen are coming from red states whose crime rate is higher than the states that they are sent to. That is so true because I was watching a podcast today and someone said a city in Missouri actually has a higher crime rate than Washington, D.C. But of course, Missouri voted for Trump. He won the state of Missouri. So he's not going to send. This is such. I'm not going to go on a rant yet. I promise I won't. I'm really trying here. This man is not smart.
But don't
He's
get old.
not. He can't be. I'm like, nobody has pointed this out. Like, he knows that DC has the crime rate is lowering.
I think an overused term is gaslighting, and that's pretty much telling you one way and knowing that if that's what you want to believe, you'll believe that. And he said himself, he loves the poorly educated, and this is one of the reasons why. We can tell you guys anything, and you'll believe it. He can tell you that Chicago is a crime-ridden slum, and we need to send the National Guard in to stop all these crimes, even though crime has gone down for the last 3 years. But if he says crime is going up, and we need to, militarize the police and unleash the police, is what he was talking about earlier. People want to believe that, they'll believe it.
Because he's not talking about sending the police to, Carmel or Hamilton County. He's not talking about sending them there.
And wherever you're talking about sending the National Guard, crime doesn't go down because the National Guard is there. I've heard that National Guard doesn't even have the power to arrest they can post and they can protect property, but the police still make the arrest. The law enforcement, etc., local law enforcement still makes arrests. I think ICE makes arrests, but for the most part, the National Guard is there just to be there and be a symbol, a symbolic.
Yeah, because I didn't think they could. And if anybody's watching and know that's correct, let us know. But
Yeah,
I'm
let
with
me
you.
know. I'm not a legal
I
expert.
don't think that they can. Because they're already in Los Angeles. They're already in New York City. That's the city I forget. But New York City doesn't have. Look for New York City to be added to that city. If Mandami wins the mayoral race, one, he's already said he's going to deport him. Like, how do you do that? He's been a citizen since he was 7. But look for New York City to be added. He'll be the first non-black mayor added to it.
Oh yeah, they'll say Then they'll say all these commie leftist radical mayors running these cities into the ground. We got to send the National Guard in.
And like, how many people does he think are in the National Guard? It's already talking about sending people to Venezuela because we have a $50 million um, plot or bond against I can't think of the president of Venezuela right now. So he's going to send 4,500 to Venezuela. Like, where is he getting? How many people are in the military that it seems like to me he's stretching it real thin.
And he doesn't have all the money in the world for all these bonuses either. I know we're talking about to get people to join ICE and to join this and join that. You can't just bonus everybody. It's not an unlimited amount of money to pay $50,000-$100,000 bonuses for joining the agency. And on top of that, you're not talking about the most qualified people all the time either. Anybody can need $50,000 and want to serve. That don't mean you qualified to serve, But yeah, that just like with tariffs, though, people will see eventually that tariffs ain't nothing but taxing us again. Anyway, we end up paying for tariffs anyway. So I don't know what tariffs are supposed to solve, but it's end up costing us.
It's like I keep saying it. How, America? How did you pass up Cornel West for Donald Trump? How? Like, explain this to me, because I'm not getting, like, the man is not smart. He's just not. I'm just saying these are just facts. This whole thing with gerrymandering, which I'm gonna get into. I know when Paris and Tim are my guests, the second Saturday in September. Him gerrymandering, I'm like, didn't somebody should have told him, hey, other states can do this. I am not for gerrymandering. Let me say this clear. I am not for gerrymandering. I think you give people deliverables and they will vote for you. However, if they gonna play that game, see, this is just Tracy talking. If they gonna play that gerrymandering game, sometimes you got to play it right back in their face. But he never thought that California would say, okay, we can add seats. Illinois is a Democratic whole state. New York is a Democratic health state. He didn't think of, he just literally thought it was gonna be Florida, Texas, maybe Indiana. I'm like, bruh, the other states can do that too. Like, nobody, like, somebody should have told him this. Either he's incredibly stupid. No, that's it. He's just incredibly stupid. I can't even. I'm just like, you're not making sense.
I guess it doesn't have to make sense as long as it works, pretty much.
And people support him. I'm like, what? Huh?
If you know something that's gonna work, it doesn't have to make sense or even seem smart. If you got support and you got backing, you can just say whatever you want and say. He uses phrases like a lot of people are saying, and I know a lot of this. I don't know how many, but a lot. He doesn't have exact numbers or exact facts on anything. It's always a few people. People are saying general things that you can't prove or disprove. And that's how he gets away with saying a lot of things, you
And
know.
nobody, the media doesn't check them. Nobody checks them. I wish I was in the press corps. Put me, of course, they would never let me in. But put me there one day. I would just literally raise my hand. Man, how stupid are you? Like you just saying nothing. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? But I really want to make this distinction, and we can talk about this um, at length. I want people to understand the Justice for All Party. We are serious about what we're doing, and we're committed to truth, justice, and love. Right? We're just not out here because you all lost, so you're doing this party to try to take votes away from the Democrats. I guess that'll be the argument in the 4 years. One, if you had the right policies, we wouldn't have to create third parties in the first place. And second, what it always sounds kind of arrogant when a Democrat tells me, "Oh, well, you just want to take votes away from such and such and such." Like you're taking away votes from Kamala. Well, that's the whole point of Dr. West running. The whole point of running is when you run for office, you want to get more votes than the next person. That's the point.
Mm-hmm. And was he trying to take votes from Kamala before Kamala was even running? Because I mean, he was running before when Joe Biden was in the race, and when they switched it to Kamala, what was he supposed? He supposed
Quit.
back out of it, you know? Yeah. So
yeah, just quit. Well,
we trying to take votes. We trying to take votes from everybody. We want them from us. You know, we want this party and this platform and whatever candidates we support. That's what we want in office. Naturally, that's the purpose of a party. You know,
I've never understood the vote blue no matter who crowd because that's where it comes from. They will just say things, and I'm like, say that again because I don't think I'm understanding. Well, these folks, there are votes. Really? Like what are you doing to keep them? I always give this example. 87% of Democratic voters, these are people who identify as Democrats, vote Democrat. They're going to vote blue no matter who. They are for Medicare for all. 87%. Does the Democratic Party have Medicare for all in their platform? No, they do not. That tells me, and I tell every Democrat, every vote blue no matter who, they're not listening to you. If you say that 87% of you are for an issue and it's not a part of your party's platform, somebody's not listening to you. And you really need to examine why am I in this party?
I haven't asked you, do they have anything? I haven't, because I stopped reading it, or the DNC, but do they have anything about Medicare, or do they
No.
mention anything?
They don't. What they want to do is expand, and they call it the Affordable Care Act.
Okay, yeah, all
right. And I'm like, expanded? No. Now that's the one thing I agree with Trump. We should absolutely get rid of the Affordable Care Act. It's garbage. Absolutely garbage.
Overhaul it.
No, I say, CC, you say overhaul. I say get rid of it and replace it with Medicare for all, and let's be done with it.
I guess that's the part he's leaving out. He doesn't want to.
He's not gonna say that.
Right.
But then you said something like he was telling the Prime Minister or President of Australia, I really like the government, the healthcare system you have. Well, they have universal health. See, again, you're not bright. You're not bright because they have universal health care.
He doesn't expect people that follow him to go that far. You know, just like, I mean, when he was running and he goes to the fast food restaurant to go put his apron on and put salt on the fries and all that. But no one thought to mention, hey, what you gonna do about minimum wage? You know, they didn't say that. You know, he said, yeah, I'm with you guys, salt on the fries and all that. But you can forget about that minimum wage raise.
Which has been $7.25 since 2009. Yeah. 2009. The minimum wage has been $7.25. You find me anybody that can live off of $7.20. You can't even live off of $20. You cannot live off of $20 an hour. It can't be done. And you talking about 725? Are you serious? Oh, Nelson has a comment here. Wait a minute, hold on. Let me do this one. When you open that kind of word to assault and arrest minorities, the people who join up would most likely be white supreme. Oh, he's answering the question. The reason we have gerrymandering is because we only have two parties. That's correct. It's only done with the Democrat and Republicans trying to take control over the people. Absolutely. And in order to stop gerrymandering, we need absolutely, Nelson. Absolutely. We absolutely.
One thing I got to disagree with Nelson on. It's a slight disagreement. As far as a third party, I would disagree. We need more than even three parties. We need multiple parties. The third party is a good start, but yeah, like you said, it's harder to gerrymander when you got five different parties. It makes gerrymandering even harder. The more parties you got, I do agree. But yeah,
and again, as much as I disdain gerrymandering, don't get me twisted. Gerrymandering is by weak people who can't go out and talk to people about why they should vote for them. Republicans have done it for years. Democrats have done it for years. But again, I feel like, okay, Texas, you gonna pull that? See, I'm a tit for tat person, and that's not, that's something I gotta work on. That's like my personal goal because I'm tit for tat. I'm like, okay, you gonna do this, so I'm gonna do this. But if you just had a platform that people would support and get behind, you would never have to worry about gerrymandering, right? If people didn't just not vote because they feel like, well, they're the same anyway, it doesn't matter.
agree. Definitely.
Yep. So it's just like I'm like,
That's a
maybe
good
Trump.
selling point for independent parties. You know what? You know how we got these. But I guess you wouldn't be able to say it. But in Illinois, if those the Texas Congress people are still in Illinois, trying to avoid that
They went
gerrymandering.
back. They went
They
back.
went back. Okay, yeah, that's right. Because they tried to confine that one sister to the office and said you can't leave or whatever, and she had to spend the night in there, or something like that. But that whole saga would not have been happening if we had more than two parties in Texas or throughout. More than two viable parties. It'd be harder to pull off something like that, the redistricting and nullifying people's votes and what have you. I didn't. Oh, hey, okay. It's harder to read. I got it on the smaller screen. Now I got it. All right, I see now.
But I think that's just like so many things seem to be happening, that we've never seen before. We've never seen a budget that was approved by Congress and the president just say, oh, well, yeah, I'm not going to sign it. No, I signed it, but, Biden signed it, but I'm not going to honor it. We're going to just fire federal workers. And I don't think people realize that there are over, I think the number is 300,000 Black women are now unemployed. 300,000. That's
federal, right?
No, of all jobs, period. Just all jobs. 300,000. It may be federal. I'm not sure. But
probably the funding for those jobs came from federal.
Right. That's 300. That's people that were feeding their families, that were paying rent or mortgage, that were paying utilities, that can't do that. Because it's not like Trump has like this job creation plan. It's not like he's out here saying, I'm going to create this many jobs, because y'all notice he never said that. It's neither candidate said, I'm going to create this amount of jobs.
I think what they trying to sell is, I'm saving this guy money, I'm saving all these billionaires money, and with all this money that we're saving them from by deregulating everything, they're going to be able to hire more people and all you.
Yeah, but we're going to choke to death because the air's going to be polluted so bad we can't breathe.
Right.
Oh yeah,
So
sure
we
we'll have jobs, but we're gonna be half hack-a-sacking it.
might not even have the jobs because they expect people to forget about asking about all that stuff later. After everything's said and done, someone's gonna come along and say, "All right, what happened to all those jobs that just like all the mass deportations? How come unemployment hasn't gone down? Once we got all the migrants out of the way, how come unemployment hasn't gone down for
Oh, you
all the
just
black
hit
people and all
one.
the black
They're
jobs?
taking all the jobs. They taking all the what jobs? Ain't no jobs to take. There are no where are these jobs they're taking? Where? And how come we aren't going after the corporations that illegally employ these people? We can deport the illegals, which doesn't make sense because again, America is built on stolen land, but I won't get into that. You're going to deport them, but you're not going to talk about the companies that are illegally hiring them and paying them under the table. Oh, okay, make it make sense.
Stop deporting the jobs. You know, stop sending the jobs elsewhere and then forcing them to work for less, and then come here trying to see. Yeah, but they're not interested in. They're not really interested in
And this isn't just,
employment.
I think that's something that the Justice for All party needs to talk more about is bringing jobs to America, right? Because we don't got them. Where are these jobs that the immigrants are taking? Like, where they at? I don't see them. Every place I see, it, they're cutting jobs, they're cutting jobs, they're cutting jobs. And AI does not help at all.
So the increasing military funding, increasing funding for police departments, increasing funding for protecting police. A lot of that money could go towards the mental health services and the jobs that could open up that would prevent the need for more militarized police and more military intervention. But they're not really interested in increasing
No.
employed Americans. That's not what their interest. Their interest is in increasing their own pockets. They're not interested
And
in us.
right. Absolutely. The easiest way to decrease crime is to have better economic opportunities. Easiest way to, because most people, you know, mine is murder or assault or something like that. Most of the crime that are committed, robberies, that's because when people don't have food, when people can't pay their bills, when people can't put gas in their car, they're going to do things to meet their basic needs. So if you improve the economic outlook, you're decreasing crime. I don't know what, I'm not an economic expert or anything, but it kind of makes sense to me if we had, I don't know, a federal jobs program guarantee, we could alleviate this, right? Because everybody that's a citizen would be guaranteed a job.
I think also uh, on the tail end of this whole conversation, what a lot of people, Republicans and Democrats, don't want to see is a decrease in the need for the police. Maybe not talking about decreasing police, but for example, a lot of people interactions with police is only because the police is all we got. Someone having a mental health episode might not need somebody with a gun to come to their house, But if we increase funding for mental health services and what have you, maybe so you can call somebody besides the police. Like in Chicago, we have what's called the CARE team. I forgot what it stands for, but we need more funding increase for that. More funding for that would be less funding for police, and that's something a lot of people don't want to hear. Defunding police. Defunding police ain't necessarily taking money from police. The end. It's funding other services as well. So people
Yep.
focus on defunding police. You're making the streets unsafe, and you want to. Hey, they don't look at the whole picture. So
And giving these police, I don't know what the budget for law enforcement is in Chicago, but I know in Indianapolis, law enforcement makes up 50% of the budget for the city. 50%.
I'm not sure the percent, but I do. Yeah, they've been having budget roundtables in Chicago. The last couple months they've been doing that, and they had one recently where I didn't, but they had for the community to be involved, and also they had one where they invited the youth to be involved. But it's a lot of treatment over trauma being pushed at these meetings. Well, hopefully, it's gonna make something different. But I'm sure that the FOP is gonna have their say in it, and but it's a lot we working towards now in Chicago. We don't know how it's going to end up, but we're working towards more money for treatment over trauma.
And it would make sense if someone's having a mental crisis. They don't need the police. They need a mental health professional. They need access.
In instances where people have been shot by the police that they call. Imagine calling the police and then you
get shot. You get shot, but you're the one that called them.
And then how come you don't call the police more often?
Well, you got this bad little habit of, I don't know, shooting people. So that makes me think,
if I'm gonna call somebody with a gun, I'm gonna call somebody I know with a gun. I want, if that's all I was gonna do, call somebody with a gun is all a problem. I know plenty of people I could call with guns that I trust.
Exactly. Tell me about it. But I think another thing that concerns me, especially with our police, is the militarization of our police. I don't know if your police force has this, Chicago PD, but IMPD, Indianapolis Marion County Police Department, why are they talking about getting tanks? Tanks. It's that bad? Who we out here fighting that we need tanks?
I would hope they ain't saying that here. I mean, it'd be harder to justify here when crime, like in cities where crime has been going down. But yeah, I can't imagine.
Now it hasn't happened, but there are talks of bringing in tanks. And there's going to be an alleged cop city, not in Indianapolis, but in, I want to say, Huntersville, Indiana.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was some federal funding for something like that, though. But
yeah, because it's like I said, everything that Trump does, Brom does it locally. So I'm like, okay, here we go. Trump passing something stupid. It'll be 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh, there it is. At least you all have a Democratic governor. Who we haven't had.
Yeah, I guess. For what it's worth, we do have a Democratic governor. We trying to stay on his case too, especially recently. We've been petitioning him to try to grant some clemency for torture survivors. But hopefully, he's running for re-election, so hopefully he knows that this is the time we got to ask.
How many times has he ran?
Oh, I think this is his first re-election. It's the second term he's running for.
What? I thought he had ran like a bunch of times.
No, Pritzker just got replaced Ronna. Ronna was, but Pritzker is on. Got me thinking now. It was his first term he signed. He pardoned a lot, but we trying to get him to pardon some more. It's some pardons recommended by the Illinois Prison Review Board, and these are clemency and pardons that we're trying to get him to sign. But we're petitioning now to try to get Governor Pritzker to grant clemency to survivors of police torture and grant clemency to those recommended by the Prison Review Board. And this is the time, while he's running for re-election, this is the time to ask for what we ask.
Because don't say anything to get re-elected. Oh, shut up, Tracy. Don't do that, Tracy. Don't do that. Does Illinois have the death penalty or not?
Right now, it's not. They don't have it. I don't know if it's called a moratorium, but right now it's
Indiana, I think we're scheduled to. I think we executed somebody.
Illinois right now doesn't.
Yeah, wait a minute. Let me check because I think we did. Let me check because I know it did. Death penalty is legal in Indiana.
Yeah.
Yep, here it is. Okay, so I just want to.
Yeah, I think around
I'm sorry. It was two. Yeah, there were. Indiana has. The last two executions were in 2024 and 2025.
Oh man.
Yeah, so we recently had two back to back like that.
And we haven't had what I think Ryan started the moratorium back in 2000, and for the most part, yeah, we it's either outlawed or still a moratorium, but yeah, we don't have it in Illinois.
Yeah. And the only reason that there's going to be a review of the death penalty in Indiana is there is apparently the primary way of execution is through lethal injection, and there is a shortage of the drug in the state, and that's the only like yeah. So that's the only reason that he's calling for a debate. And the last two people, just so the audience will know, Joseph Corcoran, um, he was executed in 2024, and Benjamin Ritchie was executed in May of 2025. I knew it was recent. I know. I was like, wait a minute, it had to be recent. Yeah, Indiana's definitely anti-abortion, pro-death penalty.
I know that. I did know about Missouri. I had been getting correspondence about MADP, Missourians Against the Death Penalty, and whenever somebody's on a sentence there, they send an email to reach out to their governor and whatnot. I hadn't kept up with Indiana, but I do know we're surrounded by a lot of death penalty states.
Yeah, because I was like, I know Kentucky is. I know that's why I assume. I was just assuming. I'm like, well, they got to be because we are in it. And I know Ohio is. So, hello, Paris. Police rolled out all military style equipment in Ferguson, Missouri. Oh, I think he means tanks rolled down the streets. Look like yes. What do you need a tank for? We ain't at war with ourselves. Like, you need a tank. A tank. For what reason do you need a tank? There is no reason that you need a military tank. And I think that's one of the things we want to discuss, maybe at our convention. That's in 209 days. The militarization of the police is a scary thing because they're getting access to weapons that they really they don't need. Exactly.
It's more just like the parade on Trump's birthday, or was it his birthday or Memorial Day?
Birthday.
It's more for show. National Guard, tanks, a military parade. It's more for show. It's not to make anybody safer. Nobody's safer because the military got black bulletproof vests and everybody can be SWAT now. It doesn't make anything safer, but it does show something. It makes a statement through a show of force, even, or the show of the ability to have force. But nobody's safer because you got a tank going down the middle of the street. Traffic is slower. People are having a hard time get to work. People gonna probably lose their jobs because we got these tanks messing up. But it's not gonna make anybody.
Well, it's the prison industrial complex, right? Because if you make things illegal, and prison terms are likely, they have to go somewhere. I was reading a study that said it costs less because Trump is on this whole let's make homelessness, let's just ship out the homeless people. Like, no, don't build houses. Don't provide houses for them. Just shoot them out of town. Make it illegal to sleep in public. Forget about building houses. Don't do that. Let's just put them in prisons. It costs less money to house a person that's unhoused than to put somebody in prison. But why do we pick the prison? Right, we picked the prison option because prison lobbyists lobby their legislators. They on this money tip, and prison they shouldn't even be managed by for profit. That's not a function that the private sector should even be taking. But it's like, let's put them in prison.
Right. Even like a lot of them houses have mental health issues, but it's been proven that you got a house with a lock on it, a bed, a cabinet to keep your medicine in. Chances are your life is going to improve. You'll be more dependable to go here, to make appointments, to show up where you need to show up. If you have what you need, a house, a lock, a bed, things that aren't expensive to provide, affordable
Yeah,
housing. You have an
exactly.
address where you can receive mail, receive, maybe prescriptions, whatever, but which is all things that are cheaper to provide. But
Yeah, and
again, that's only
exactly.
if you're interested in providing that. If you're interested
Right.
in helping people, serving people, and providing for people.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot going on. There's Alcatraz Alley. There's Alcatraz Alligator Alcatraz. That's what it's
Alligator
called.
Alcatraz.
There's the military going in ice raids. There's just a lot for us to do, and like I said, it's a hands-on situation, and we need all hands on deck. So if you read our platform, um, and you are
Yeah.
interested in it, please contact us because we'd be glad to hear from you. Here says federal judge ruled against the expansion and continued operation of Alcatraz infrastructure must be removed. Oh, that must have been recent.
Yeah, I saw that a couple of days ago, but
I
here's a
did
lot of
not.
people depend on people not knowing that. Like he made a big show out of Alligator Alcatraz, but a lot of the measures they take end up getting shot down by federal judges anyway. But by then, people have stopped paying attention, and they just looking at this big gesture that Daddy Trump did, and they don't look at, 2 months later, it's got to be shut down or.
And they built it within like a week. Like, how do you build that kind of structure in a week or 2 days? It was like not even long. I
It
don't.
wasn't really built. They counted on alligators to be the walls. Like the swamp was going
That
to keep
just
people
makes no
contained.
sense. It's like, what type of country are we living in? But I do want to finally talk about how next week is going to work. And I'll probably talk about this at the beginning of the next week's show. So remember, everybody, next week's show starts at 6 o'clock p.m. Don't come in here well, you can come in at 7, but don't.
6 Eastern, right? 6
That's
o'clock
right,
Eastern.
6 p.m.
All right,
Thank
that's
you.
what I said.
6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So y'all know how y'all been commenting in the comment section. Well, next week I'm gonna put up the address to where you can put your donation. You'll say how much you're donating. You either say I'm pledging to donate, put the amount, or say I've already donated. That's how next week will work. Um, it'll be
And you can stamp that letter and send
Yep,
it.
and we'll have the
Yeah.
address too. We will have the address absolutely and the correct way to make out the check money order. Um, don't be sending cash. Don't send cash. Don't do that. Don't do that. But we'll tell you how to send your check and your money orders. If you prefer to mail it, we will also next week be debuting the JFA convention website. That'll be announced every week right up until our last episode on Saturdays is December the 18th. Then I take a month break and I come back January the 22nd. Because remember, this show is moving to Thursdays in 2026. So from next week on, I'll be announcing our website, the convention website. We're going to finally give people a chance to say, you know what, I'm tired of this and I want to do something about it. So just keep in mind next week, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Jay, before you go, is there anything you want to say else?
I guess if you in Chicago like me, remember next week, 5 o'clock for us. For everyone else, 6 o'clock. But if you live in Illinois, make sure you come show up at 5 o'clock. All right, and you'll
I
happen to
didn't do
remember.
it other times. You're right, but it's yes, exactly. Guys, I'm gonna do the outro. Like I said, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time next week. We're going to have a fantastic fundraiser-a-thon. We're going to talk more about the party, what we're trying to do, and we're going to raise some money. That's the goal. That's the mission. That's what we plan on doing. So don't be surprised if we talk about money a lot next week. That's the topic. We've been preparing you all for this for months. I've been announcing this for months and months and months, and now it's finally here. Finally, 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 finally. So I'm gonna do um, the outro. Jay, I'll see you next week.
See you next week. Showtime at the Apollo.
Yes, we're gonna have a great time, and hopefully, I will decide what my talent is. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna do something. I just don't know what yet. But we appreciate everybody that tuned in. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Tell 5 of
Hit the
your
thumbs
friends.
up.
That's right. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that like button. Help us to get 75 likes and 45 shares. That helps us to break the algorithm. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next week. I may do a show tomorrow. I may. I'm not 100% sure, which is why I didn't mention it. But we'll see you, at least I know we'll see you Saturday, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a fantastic evening.
Take care.